secrets exposed, mysteries uncovered. Enter a world where secrets are no longer classified. Dig deep and you'll find arresting stories. Dig deeper to realize every story has two sides. The new authority in investigation. New to view this November on Discovery Channel. Come unlock some of Asia's most guarded secrets. Culinary Asia. Find out the cost to push the boundaries of engineering. A new season of Build It Bigger. New destinations, new challenges, same old bear. A new season of Man vs. Wild. Uncover ancient secrets on a new series, Out of Egypt. New to view this November on Discovery Channel.
Neon. Ever since the 1920s, these bright, glitzy and occasionally garish signs have illuminated buildings and skylines around the world. Nowhere more so than here in the neon capital, Las Vegas. The creators of these bright ideas are master magicians of gas, colour and light. So, how do they do it? Meet Mark and James. Without these two guys, the glitzy town of Las Vegas would pretty soon lose its sparkle, because it's their job to keep the city's neon signs glowing.
This is the one right in the bottom of the eye, that's bad, okay?
Their task this morning is to replace a failed neon tube. A tough job, as the tube in question is 100 meters up on the side of a hotel.
It's all about safety. Be safe and it's all a piece of cake.
Fortunately, Mark and James are used to heights. They work for Yesco, one of the oldest neon sign makers in Vegas. Yesco made the first major neon sign in Vegas back in to programmable cutters, or even by hand. These smaller pieces are then welded together. Every part has to be precision manufactured, as unlike a standard petrol engine, which uses a spark plug to ignite its fuel, diesel is ignited by pressure in the cylinder. With an engine as massive as this, that means the components will be subjected to incredible stress. As the huge parts are laid out, the full scale of the assembly task ahead becomes clear. Just like building a house, the engine is built from the bottom up, so the first part on the floor is the bed plate. The problem is, when you have to shift components as big as these, you need some serious lifting gear. So the factory uses 60 125-ton cranes. These monster lifting machines are remote controlled and move on a network of rails. With the bed plate in place, it's time to install the massive crankshaft, which will be driven by the huge 72-centimetre pistons. Then comes the 65,000-kilo engine gasket, which is carefully lowered into place and bolted down. It takes over 50 days to complete the assembly, but just one slight delay can ruin the carefully planned schedule, so the pressure's really on. Eventually, after 55,000 hours of work, they're ready to test the engine. It's a tense time. What they're waiting for is the sound of 30,000 horsepower. Yes! It's a thumbs up all round. Bang on schedule, this $6 million engine is complete. Now comes the tricky bit. Somehow they've got to get this 640-ton mass of steel out of the factory and all the way to Germany. It's a major lifting process, requiring their heaviest cranes and a pile of tough steel cables. With a creak of cables, the engine is gradually hoisted from the floor and creeps slowly forward out of the factory toward the ship, which will take it on a 6,000-kilometre journey to Kiel. 2 hours later, it's finally lowered onto the deck and secured. 3 weeks later, the engine arrives at its destination. Now begins the toughest part of the whole process. First, they must crane the massive engine from the deck of the delivery ship and then swing it over the deck of the waiting Auckland. It's a major operation, requiring a 900-ton crane and 12 men. They have to somehow maneuver the engine through an opening barely bigger than the engine itself, then lower it 12 meters down into the engine room and line it. It's a slow and tense procedure. With this much weight testing the lifting gear to the limits, one false move could cause a catastrophe. Finally, after several hours, the engine gently settles onto its mounting brackets and is bolted securely into place. Over the next few days, it will be fully installed and connected to the main shaft that will drive the ship's 7-meter-wide propeller. This engine will power the Auckland across the ocean 6,000 hours a year for the next 30 years, guzzling over 300 gallons of diesel every hour. But without this monstrous motor, the Auckland and its precious cargo would be going nowhere.
Fueled by adrenaline and engineering know-how, balanced between science and audacity, these man-made marvels push the boundaries of engineering. But at what costs?
This is really the best solution.
This is the only way to do it. It's old-fashioned, but it works.
Some of the biggest and most complex constructions in the world. Danny Foster offers a privileged point of view. Build it bigger. A new season premieres Thursday, 5th of November on Discovery Channel.